All right, so let's see how can we create and how can we extend one of the volumes that we have already created. So as you can see, when I create a new volume, I have like shrink volume, I have extend volume, and then I have other options too in here. So I can change the drive letter or path. I can make the partition as active. So basically, if I right click here and then create a new simple volume, just so that we can test extend, I will not name it anything. If I right click in here, I have the option to extend volume. What does extend do is it extends the space. So if I want more space, I can simply add disk 2 and disk 3 and press next, finish, and it will convert it to dynamic disk, but it will actually give me more space. So instead of 1008 MB, I now have like 3 GB. So it combined all three hard disks for me and then it extended the volume. If I right click here, you can see I have shrink option. What does shrink do is if you actually only need, for example, half or like 1 GB, 1.6 GB of the space, and the rest of it you want to use for something else, so you can shrink that. So if I go here now, I should be able to see that the volume now have 1.33 GB of space. And now I can actually create or use this unallocated space and create another simple volume. So basically I'm shrinking and I am extending as I go forward. Change drive letter and path. If you want to change it, you can actually right click or click, sorry, and then come here and G, press yes. So now the drive is G. Most of the time that I want to mention in here is that if this drive is shared in your network, make sure that you do not change the drive later, because if you change it, it's gonna cause problems. Users will not be able to access the data if you do that. So in production environment, do not change the drive letter. One of the tricks that I want to show you in here is if someone asks you how do you hide a drive. And to do that, you can simply click on change um, drive letter and path and then simply remove that drive letter. So you no longer see it here, but you still have it here. In order to unhide it, you can simply just assign a drive letter to it again and then you have it back. So that's how you hide and unhide when needed. When you click on delete volume, it's going to delete the volume. And if you have multiple disks working together, like you have configured span simple disk or span disk or like any other kind of volumes, drive volumes, you are basically removing them all. So never delete a volume when you have data inside it, because you will lose everything that you have inside that volume. So never delete that. And then um, another thing that you see here is Explorer. What it does is it basically opens that volume for you. It opens the contents of that volume for you. Format basically formats a hard drive. So if you want to use this as a fresh or clean volume, you can always use format option instead of delete volume. Delete volume deletes the volume. Format deletes the data inside a volume. So you can use these options on a daily basis.